Jill Abear.
Here.
Carolyn Robichaux.
Present.
Ira Weber.
Here.
7 board members present and there is a quorum.
Carol's now continue.
Oh, yeah, we wanted to discuss haircuts. Put that, under, with the new tester, or wherever you wanna put it, it don't matter.
New business, maybe.
New business?
And I have an adjustment to the June, well, she took them off already. It's on the back. Never mind.
Anything else we need to add? Do I have a motion to accept the agenda with the addition?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Our minutes from our February 2nd meeting. Any changes, corrections?
Make a motion to accept the minutes from the meeting of February 2nd.
I second. All in favor? Opposed? Our March 9th,
I have a correction to the 9th.
okay.
On the committee meeting, they have as president Michael Horning, and they should have Jill.
Blast from the past. I read right over it. Tell him we said hi, Carolyn. We were thinking about it.
I will. I told him he was here, he said he just don't remember. But I said I could prove it, but it's on there.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept with the correction?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, just state schools.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, on our schools, first up, Remington College has sent an announcement in a letter that they will discontinue enrolling new students in their cosmetology program. They are going to close their Baton Rouge campus. They will teach out every student that they have, but they're notifying the board that there will be no new enrollments, and after each of the students has completed the course, then they would no longer require a license or be in business for cosmetology. A notice to the board only.
What street's it on, Steve? What street is it on? Sherwood?
Right up here, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they're leaving their other schools open, it's just this one that they're closing. Second request before the board, first request is from Azure Beauty. They're asking to change their business hours from Tuesday through Saturday to Monday through Friday, so that they're no longer open on Saturday. And they have submitted all of their instructors' information, certificates, and asking the board to please approve the Monday through Friday schedule.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the new operating hours of Azure's Beauty College.
Second? All in favor? Opposed?
Third school on the list is Stage 1. Sissy Gidry came by last week and explained to me that the board, they had requested that they drop their teacher's training program to 500 hours from 700 hours, and the board approved that. However, it was a 25% change in their curriculum, and it was NACAS. They were going to have to go back and start from the first with the NACAS rules. So rather than go back through all of that commotion, they're pleading with the board to let them place another 100 hours, rather from 700 to 600 hours. That way they will be below the 25% curriculum change and not have to go through all the NACAS rules and regulations changes. So they're requesting 600 hours in training, and they have submitted their curriculum, and looks fine to me.
Motion
You want to
to
do
accept.
so make sure we come back and let you know.
Can I have a motion to approve the 600-hour curriculum?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Number 4 on the list, South Louisiana Community College is asking for a change in their clinic hours of operation. They are asking, requesting the following from April 1st to May the 9th. And I don't know why, but it's a limited time for that, and then they would revert back. They're asking from April the 1st to May the 9th that their clinic floor hours be changed to Tuesday and Thursdays from 9 to 2:45, Wednesdays and Fridays from 8 to 12. Now, they gave no additional information on why, but I would assume it's a scheduling conflict of some type with the school. And they've only asked, we're requesting on our hours for the following from April 1st to May the 9th. So it is a limited change, but they wanted to notify the board, and then they'll revert to their previous hours.
How many hours do they offer the students right now? Because this will drop to 20 hours a week.
Well, I have no idea because I don't have that before me, but I assume whatever was correct because it was approved by the board before.
Can you find it out from a file or something?
I'm sure we can. We'll, want to hold this one?
Well, when they say clinic hours, does that mean the whole school's going to be closed? Or I don't understand. I mean, are the students still going to be able to get their hours?
Are they
gonna be able
in
to be in
theory,
school?
maybe part of that time, rather than just clinic? Maybe they have theory.
Maybe they're having some kind of special.
Yeah, they did not elaborate. This is the only thing that they sent, so if we can always.
Ask for more information.
Excuse me, but
Because
where
you've
is
already-
the school?
You've already passed April the
They've
1st.
passed, yeah.
We're on the 15th of April
Well, then I
already.
guess we should,
We should approve it.
Where is the school?
we just need to check, hang on.
SLCC is a large, big old conglomerate.
Yep, that is South Louisiana Community College at,
Is that the one in Abbeville?
It's on Lake Charles.
it's in Lake Charles, yeah.
Is there Lake Charles? No, no, that's stage one.
There may be-
No, we're looking at this one right here.
Sorry.
I'll find out, I'm sorry. Debbie called in sick and I don't have that before.
SLCC does not have cosmetology in all their different locations, that's why. I think it's only one that I think it's only Abbeville.
Halfway through the thing right now.
Yeah.
And we only have one more week. This is South
Well,
Louisiana.
if we can revisit this after the consents, I'll go find that information.
Okay, all right.
Because it's a pretty pitiful letter.
Yeah,
Well,
it really
it's not a
is.
letter.
I'm
It's-
just-
It's a notification.
Yeah.
Well, and maybe Debbie just typed this because they called.
The next, I don't know exactly what to think about the request from Blue Cliff. They're requesting to change their grading from an actual grade or a percentage to just a pass-fail. And I think the board would have to consider, because we've always dealt with either grades or with percentages from 100. So we don't have another one like this. This gives you a pass-fail.
They don't tell us who their accrediting agency is,
No.
because that also tells you whether they have to have
I think it's probably with,
a refresher course. Okay.
Noctis did say that they wanted a pass-fail, but my instructors understood that it was like for the student evaluation within the school, that either they would have it, so there was consistency. I don't think it was, I don't know that it applied to refresher course things this.
It looks like this is only for the cosmetology refresher course.
Oh,
We don't really test that.
Oh, okay, so they really, that would be someone who already has a license,
Yes,
so
right.
they really wouldn't have to pass it.
And we don't test the car, it'd be somebody that failed exam for.
Yeah.
Well, the refresher course is for, it's 200 hours otherwise, but that is the refresher course.
So when you look at course description, it includes pretty much everything. Hair care.
You can't tell in there, I might have misread it too, because it says, please accept this letter as a request to change the coursework to pass, fail, as opposed to the grading scale indicated on the syllabi for our cosmetology refresher course. So I don't know if they're asking to change just the cosmetology refresher, or all coursework when I read this letter. It's not clear. Huh? Right.
Well, they said the course code, and it's the cosmetology refresher course is what they said.
It says for our cosmetology professionals, so yes, I would think that's the only thing it would apply to.
That's all they
Well,
said.
August
So
11th,
in that,
All the
August
literature
2011 is right, it says we
so
approve.
I would say that,
What? The syllabus.
Yeah, that's when we approved the refresher.
For the refresher course. So,
but I mean, I don't know that we can tell them how to grade. But even if it's the other course, I don't know that we can tell them how to grade. I guess you could.
And I guess on their credit, it seems like there were different ACEs, something.
I say we get more information before you know what you're talking about.
If it only applies to refresher course, I think it's okay.
That's what it looks like.
And that's what it sounds like in the letter.
That has to be spelled out if you approve it.
No, they don't say on their initial letter that it's just for the
Right.
refresher course.
This for our cosmetology.
Yeah, but if you read the whole
Okay.
sentence,
See?
it's subject to two different interpretations.
That's what,
And are they only giving the cosmetology refresher rather than aesthetics or instructor or anything else?
it includes nails. It may be just for the ribbon thing. But
Y'all want them to come to the next meeting?
that's a lot.
It's kind of vague.
If it's for the cosmetology refresher course, then it's fine.
What if it's not?
Then that's what we need to find out.
Well, you can
Motion
approve
We just
it.
need to confirm.
You can approve it for the limited motion of the cosmetology
Your
refresher
motion could be,
course.
to approve it if it's only for the cosmetology refresher course, if the request is broader than that, for them to come to the next meeting.
Yeah.
That would be your motion.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So I'll make a motion.
Then you said.
Yeah.
If it's for the refresher course only, we can approve it. If it applies to other courses, they need to appear before the board.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Opposed?
They'll be named with Christy Smith. Should be walking in. Well, maybe floating in, that's right. Would it be all right to take opulent and come right back to LDA? Now, board members, now we've been through several changes on this opulent beauty. They had a building that was in the process of construction at one time that we approved the architectural design on the building and the flooring. They are requesting now another building and another request because they're obviously not going to be in the building that we were first that we first approved. Now, they have submitted the paperwork on the architectural design for the building. And so this is another request from Opulent. We will have to go out and I guess do another initial on it for sure, after it's all in place. So this is up to the board, of course. They are asking that we approve this new site for their potential school.
We have the blueprints to look at?
Yeah, they should be in Debbie's office. Here.
Are they official?
Yeah, those are the ones, just like the copies that's in the thing.
Just a different location.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, they didn't send them.
But I mean, they stamped with
Yeah.
whatever they
It's
need to be
handwritten,
stamped.
and she said that was his stamp. She spoke with the architect, and that's his stamp. I can show it to you.
I'd like
It's
to
the
see it.
original.
Is it the same building, they just changed
No.
the plan? Or it's a different
No.
building?
Okay.
Kept the plan, changed the building.
So they're not open right now?
No.
No,
Anywhere though. This
they're
is
not
just-
even close to it yet.
Actually, it was a daycare.
No, it's
Gonna be at the
Ma'am?
Still that is in Franklin.
still in Franklin.
Does anybody else do blueprints and doesn't have a seal? I mean, is that what it's coming to now? You know, Shirley?
Not every
Then
project
Sherry
has
seal
an
first.
architect. If you have an engineer or an architect doing it, they have to have a seal. Right, but you can have plans drawn by a draftsman.
Who? I'm sorry.
Draftsman. That's what she said, that's his stamp, she said. This stamp says reviewed by the state fire marshal as per the letter. And then Kenneth Novak, architect, is handwritten and then his signature. And they both.
No, Kenneth Novak is with the fire marshal. Isn't he?
Yeah.
I think that's what that means, Sharon.
Right, it's.
It says Kenneth Novak Architect.
With the fire marshal's on it.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
It's not here. See, the plans were done by Blue Design and Management LLC, their architectural division according to this. So they're not stamped by the architect, so that's what y'all are looking for?
That's what, yeah, we've always asked for before.
Yeah, and I don't think they are, Carolyn. Do we have the original?
That's what she brought in.
It's not stamped by the architect, which I think violates the architect. I know it violates the engineering board because I've prosecuted people for it in the engineering board.
Don't we require a stamp? We've always required that before.
I don't even know if it's done by an architect, it's done by, yeah, but you want somebody signing or something.
I think we should
Doesn't
go by
say
what
who
we've
it's
done before.
Paired.
Well, it says,
By
it says
other
here
than
drawn
Burns.
by C. Burris, you know, and then it says checked by and it's blank. And then it says Blue Design and Management LLC Architectural Division. And it doesn't even, it has a place for the scale, but it doesn't say what the scale is. It's kind of, have scales over here. Carolyn, you want to see the,
If it doesn't have the stamp, I don't need to see it. We've always asked for a stamp before, an official seal.
Yeah, this could be just a humble.
so what's the request, Steve?
Our statute says 594, B5, you have to submit a detailed floor plan certified by an architect or engineer drawn to scale.
including the arrangement of classrooms, placement of equipment, electrical outlets, ventilation equipment, plumbing and lighting, the locations of all outside entrances and exits, and the square footage for each area. And I didn't see the electrical, it only looked like a one-page plan, it didn't look like it had ventilation, electrical.
Yeah, so
It's not a complete set of plans.
So we need a complete set.
that complies with that statute. Steve, I'd cite the statute to them when you tell them why it's rejected, so they'll know what all the requirements are if they didn't know already.
594B5. And they also have to have the approval of the local fire safety inspector, which
They got
that's
that.
what that is.
Got the approval. Oh, Lord, from this guy.
Who's your fire marshal now?
It's still that guy, you know,
It's not BJ Bell.
it's not VJ anymore.
He's been gone, BJ's older than Moses.
It's Browning.
It's
Apparently so am I.
His last name's Browning, but I forget what his
Butch Brown?
Butch.
Butch Brown.
Because it's got BJ Bell, a fire marshal on this stuff.
Oh, he's not the fire marshal anymore.
On that, he has it? What's the date of it?
Well, see,
Well, no, that's some guidelines from 1998. And at least he was then in 1998.
so the request from the board will be for an original.
Well, it's going to be for a set of plans that meets the requirements of LARS 37594B5,
Good.
you know, and then any other requirements, but certainly that requirement. So I think that if the board wants to, is not accepting these because it doesn't meet the requirements of 594B5.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Then in that case, we can go back to L.B. Landry and Christie.
Yeah.
All right. This morning, we have Christie Smith, who is the instructor at L.B. Landry High School. And the request from the board is that, of course, there needs to be 2 instructors at a school. And she's here to address that and whatever else you may wish to address. Christie?
Would you like me to come over or stay here?
You can come sit right here.
Wherever you're comfortable.
I would like to be with you all.
Right there.
So good morning, I'm sorry I'm late, I was in traffic and the weather. I'm Christy Smith, I teach the high school program at L.B. Landry High School. I've been teaching the high school program in New Orleans for the past 18 years. So we've always had one teacher, and I think because the high school programs run a little bit different, and I know we don't have a lot of rules and policies in place for the high school programs, I think, my opinion, is we need some amending to some of the rules and regulations for the high school programs because they run so differently. So while I was talking to both the board representatives, I was explaining to them, I know that for when I was in beauty school, I attended John Jay, and we did need more than one teacher because all of the kids, well, students, are there at one time. Whereas in the high schools, it runs just like a high school class, where for first period, I only have 6 kids. So we don't have the need, the school board doesn't say we have a need for them to pay an additional teacher. I know the state board says 20 kids need, each 20 kids needs a teacher. So I'm under 2 frames. I'm under the Louisiana State Board of Cosmetology frame, and then I'm under the superintendent, the school board, the principal, the assistant principals. So that's where the need for two teachers would come in to play. So how the schedule goes, it goes just like a 4-period day. Some schools go 7-period days. Previously, when I worked at John McDonough, if you were familiar with John McDonough, had a cosmetology program which was closed down because the school board closed those programs. We had a 7-period day there. Now we have 4-period days. So for first period, this is my assignment sheet. I have 6 kids, which are seniors. So the school board would say, why would we pay a second teacher You know, we understand with a beauty school, you need 2, 3, or 4 teachers. With the school board, the superintendent would say, why do we need to pay a second teacher when we have 6 kids in this one class? What does the second teacher do? So then the second period, I have 18 kids. The fourth period, because the third period, it still runs like a high school, I have to have a planning period, so I have a 9-teaching period, which will be my third period. The fourth period is 16 kids. We never have over 20 kids in the program because it is children. So it's, you want to have, just like your classroom, you want to have, you know, teacher-student engagement. And this especially because it's so much one-on-one. So I know that our profession calls for the 20 kids, 2 teachers, 20 kids per teacher. But the issue we would have in the high schools is the superintendent, the principals, and those people saying, do we need to pay 2 teachers for this program? So a young lady, Yuan Wade, she got me to email her some paperwork about how our classrooms are set up because she said, you know, we are in need of some help with the high school program. I don't mind helping. You know, anything you need from me or to help with any other the high school programs that will put some things in place, I don't mind. So what we did do with the teacher that was at John McDonough, she was John McDonough's cosmetology teacher for the past 35 years. That school closed down. So she is retired. So she has agreed, and my principal and assistant principal agreed that in the event any unforeseen circumstance comes where I can't be at school, we can call her to come in and do the subbing. I don't miss school. I don't like to miss school because these children actually need this program and need what we all use this program for. These children are underprivileged, they live in poverty, most of them live on their own or with a grandmother. So what we do is really changing their lives. So I make it a point to make sure that I'm there every week. But I understood what Mr. Young was asking, you know, what happens if you're not at school? And I wish I could take a day off, but I don't. Today, actually, the children are doing high standard testing, so I didn't have a class anyway today, so that kind of worked out. But that is how basically the program runs. So that anybody have any other questions for me? I don't want to just keep rambling about it. Anybody have any questions?
When you say you have them for an hour, do you actually only have them for an hour?
No, I have them for more than an hour because the class period is only 4 classes a day. So it's basically like an hour and 90 minutes. The seniors, what's good about the seniors is they finish more than because it's only 4 class periods. So it's like they finish 2 years of coursework in 1 year. So from August to December, they take a set of classes. And so then from January to May, they take a set of classes. So by the time these kids become seniors, they may only need 1 class. So the good thing with the seniors is they are allowed to take more classes so that they can work on their hours and testing. Those 6 seniors have already taken their theory test, passed on the first try. Now we're working towards practical and coming back to practical. And I take them to take the test because if it wasn't for me bringing them, and he sees me when I bring them in the van, they wouldn't have that opportunity. So it is a little bit longer. I stay after school, I volunteer after school because the school board doesn't pay me after 4 o'clock, and I stay for extra hours for them to earn extra hours and to keep them from going off getting into anything else. So I do give them an opportunity on certain days to stay after school and earn some extra hours.
Do you have a clinic floor?
We do. But like I said, I think some of the things need to be amended for high school because we have to remember that they're children. So we don't want to, we do allow them to work on each other or teachers in the school or things like that, but we don't want them to kind of we do service some senior citizen homes, but we have, we remember that they're children.
So how many hours are they allowed to get?
They're allowed to get, it depends on, and I brought this so you all can see, I didn't know if you had what the school board uses. I jumped in my car. This is like the school board standards and for high school standards of instruction and stuff like that. So it breaks it down depending on the number of classes that they have. So if they have 3 classes, they're allowed to get so many hours per year. They're registered in 11th grade. So once they're in 11th grade, they start because they have to have 11 units. So in 10th grade, they don't have 11 units. They're not allowed to do any practical work. It's just theory. So each section, I should have broke it down for you, but I can break it down for you and give you the actual number per year that they're allowed to get. But it's gonna vary with every child because just like when you're in beauty school, it varies, how much you get. But they still get the total $1,500.
They get the full 1,500?
They get the full 1,500. Every child may not. Some children don't come to school, some children miss school. It's the same with beauty school. If you don't go, you may start at the same time, but you don't finish at the same time. But they are able to receive the full 1,500.
It seems like they have limitations as far as their ability to perform services to the public. I mean, I don't know how fair it is for a kid to get out and they haven't done these services and they don't have the experience that they need.
We do them. We just are careful what we do because they are children. So it's not so much of a liability, but we make sure that the clients know, like when we service the senior citizen homes, they know it's what they're, that they're working with children.
So are you saying that you take the students out?
No.
And go to the home?
No. The senior citizens come, they have a van and they bring them. Yeah.
And are you also saying that the students can get extra hours after the school closes?
Yes, because there are extra
Do
after-hour
that?
programs.
Is that part of the program that's registered with the state board, that they can get these extra hours? I mean, there was just some rules on that. I was wondering how that worked for you all.
For me, with the school, the high school itself, well, they had, the school offers a 5th and 6th period after school to help children. So they asked me if I wanted to offer, to help children as well after school.
So the school basically has 6 periods?
But the 5th and 6th period is after school. It's from 4 to 5 and 5 to 6. And they have an after-school bus. And that's to help children who may have fallen behind, who may have had unforeseen circumstances at home and couldn't come to school. Because we have to, we're dealing with a poverty area. So they try to accommodate these children to help them.
What is your placement rate after graduation?
For licensing for working, last year we had 4 young ladies to receive their license. All 4 of them are working in salons. Yeah. I've been teaching this program since 1994, so there are a number of salon owners, people that go straight, children that go straight from high school, because they're awarded some opportunities that some of us didn't get because they got it in high school. So they're able to go to college or to junior college and do 2 things, and they need it. Some of them have children in high school, and they actually do need it. So they do, and I wanted to bring some of them, and even some people who have graduated and got licensing in high school, and we could set that up, one day if you would like during a meeting where you could see what these high school programs actually produce.
Just for the what were the one teachers are?
Got your question now, Christie?
What's it?
Whether one teacher's enough because you never teach more than 20 at a time.
Right, that's the issue that was brought, that's why I was asked to come, was about the, and like I said, I know you say you have a lot of questions, and I would love to help organize or put some things in place for the high school programs, because I know we do have another high school program, it's in Jefferson Parish, and there's just one teacher there also. So I think, you know, if we can put some things in place or try to figure some things out about the high school programs, because they are working and it's productive and it's a help. We don't take in any funding. The program, I'm paid through the school system, and we don't take in any money at all. None. The program doesn't take in any, any fees.
And you do have a substitute that you
Yes.
know you would be able to
Yes.
call. if you need
Yes,
to.
and she was the actual instructor at the other high school that the state of education closed because they merged that school. And she was that sole cosmetology teacher for the past 35 years. And her name is Deborah Richardson, if you need to pull her name or any her demographics.
It's not
She
so
has
much,
a current license instructor.
Yeah, she was the instructor that was at the other high school that it was at.
it's not so much about whether you take a day off or not, it's more like if you get ill,
Yeah.
the students can't just sit there, they
Right,
have it.
right,
Right.
right.
So,
Yeah.
Now, on the average, how many people are actually working on the clinic at one time?
On an average, it's per class. So whatever class it is, it would be that class, because we cannot take them out of math, science, and English to say, finish this hairstyle. You understand what I'm saying? We can't say, oh, you have to be late to math because you have a client. So it's only per class period. So if it's the senior class, it will be those 6 seniors. If it's the junior class, it will be those 18 juniors. If it's for the 10th graders, they don't do anything. It's just the bookwork for the 10th graders. So it would be just those students at that particular class time.
So you're only observing so many students?
Yeah, whatever the schedule calls, just like when they make, how we get the kids from year to year, we do an application. All year long, of course, everybody's coming, I want to take cosmetology, I want to be in cosmetology, I want to take this class, because it's something that motivates them to come to school every day. It would have motivated me. I would have, been jumping up saying, oh yeah, this is what I want to do, I'm going to school. So they come in, they apply, they write an essay, I go to their teachers, find out what kind of, if they had any discipline problems, what kind of students they are, because we want the best in the program, because it's a lot. And so that's how we get them into the program. And then we just keep them, and they come, they come back year after year until they graduate and get their license. Did I answer your question? I'm sorry.
yeah, you did.
You did. You answered my question.
So initially, I thought you said it was only 11 to 12 graders.
Well, the 10th graders are allowed to enter the program as an introductory class so that we get the 11th graders, but they're only allowed to do bookwork, and they are not allowed to, they can't register until, they'll be registering in May, because they will have their 11 units. So that we do all the paperwork, the registration, they pay their $10, and then we register them so that when school starts in August, then they'll be ready.
So they can't work on the clinic floor actually?
Not the 10th graders, no. Not the 10th graders. Because they don't have enough units
Okay.
to register with the Board of Cosmetology.
So they don't get any hours in the 10th grade?
No.
As far as the state is concerned?
No,
So
no.
is there enough time to get 1,500 hours in the 11th and 12th grade?
Yes, they take the class, and what happens is, because I offer my time,
Yeah.
they're able to do it, because I offer my time
After school.
after school and during my planning period, because most times I don't have a planning period because we have teachers that don't come to school. So the children say, well, hey, I don't want to just sit in a class, can I go to cosmetology? And then they come and they work or study or take the test or get on the computer and do the practice test on the computer.
Well, it sounds like you're doing an excellent job, but we really do need to have some rules in place,
We
because
do.
you're not always going to be the one there.
We do. We do. I think we do. I mean, for all the high school programs, I think
That's
we
the other
do.
issue, it's not just your school, but it's the
Yeah.
other schools too.
Right.
Yeah, I think we do.
We're going to have to have some type of
It's
standards.
gonna need to be a substitute teacher, not just for you, but we need to know that there's a substitute teacher for all the other schools that we call on.
And like I said, if you need me at any point, for anything with, you know, figuring out anything of how those programs run in high school, don't hesitate.
So I'm assuming then that that school was one of the schools that was approved years ago for $1,500, because
Yeah,
now that's
we're
not
not
approved
doing,
anymore.
Yeah, because this program, this is what happened with this program. I was teaching at Ellie Robwin High School, is where the program originated at. So that's where the program started. So once Katrina came, we came back to Rockland. And so after that, they closed Rockland High School and they moved everything from Rockland High School to Landry High School. And so that's how we got to Landry. They moved every program that was inside that school to this school.
Can high schools do $1,500?
Not now, they can't, but those that were originally, like their school, I think there's two of them.
Yeah, it's, this one and the other school that I was telling you about, Coulier Career Academy, which is the other high school that has the one teacher that's the Jefferson Parish.
We don't approve for the complete.
Well, and the challenge is, you know, we want to make sure that students get out.
Y'all want this closed?
Yes, sir.
You want us to do our interview and let him?
Sure, that'd be fine.
Okay.
Either way.
Well, I'm mainly just gonna videotape you if that's okay. You asking the questions.
Thank you, sir. Did an interview with WWL in New Orleans.
You did?
Came up, and after it showed, the day or two, I got my phone went off and there was a text, and it said, at least if you're going to talk about health and beauty, keep your wig on straight.
Man, I wish I had your hair.
And I don't know who it was. I didn't call. I just text back, well, it's hard to keep a wig from Walmart on straight. And I just said, I don't know who it was, but it's somebody fooling with me.
But you did respond to them.
Oh yeah, it's somebody I know. I just
Oh,
didn't
it's
recognize.
somebody you know.
I just didn't. I didn't recognize the number, so they never did tell me who it was. Pollen bothered you lately this year?
I got whacked a couple weeks ago. Then I think my system adjusts.
Mm-hmm.
My wife was so bad last weekend that she went into the doctor on Monday, and she never goes to the doctor unless, you know, it's typical
Too
one.
bad. Right.
And she had to get a shot.
Well, I guarantee you, men and people are really suffering this year for some reason or other, Pollen. Alrighty.
Yeah. I guess the first, it's a little bit broad-based, but what are the biggest problems you see as it relates to people having or not having cosmetology licenses?
Well, of course, the major problem with any unlicensed person is that they're not skilled, they're not educated, they've not been tested, and they have no license. The legislature set up the Board of Cosmetology mainly for the protection and health of the general public. And so we're established to make sure that whoever is doing a service for pay in this state is licensed and well trained. So the problem that we have then is finding people who are working without a license. And that's a problem. It's not our only problem, but it is certainly a problem that we face this day and time.
And I guess what is it, hit or miss when you're trying to find people with license issues?
Well, it is because we have 11 inspectors, and we have about 4,500 salons and shops. So the inspectors are relegated to a district, and they are on a path every day, checking every day. And so if they happen to go into a shop, of course, walk in and there's a non-licensed person, well, they're going to catch them. If we receive a written complaint of a shop with an unlicensed person, we send the inspector immediately over there. They're not in the regular schedule. These we send specifically on complaints of a written and verified complaint. So it's a matter of just being in the right place at the right time.
How many written complaints do you get in a year?
Oh, well, it will vary. We may get 4, 5, or 6 in a month's time from a client or from someone who just happened to notice. Yeah.
Has the issue gotten worse over the last X number of years trying to with unlicensed?
Well, it's gotten much worse over the last 5 years. Really, we didn't have much of a problem 10 years ago with unlicensed personnel in the state. So yes, it has gotten worse.
Can you say what's causing that?
Well, it's people who would prefer to go to work without a license. I don't know what the general cause is, but anytime you have folks that are out there who do not want to go to school and who does not wish to abide by the state law, then that's a problem.
By not having a license, I don't have to get my nails done, although my wife would like to have to get it done from time to time. Are there health risks associated with people who don't have licenses?
Well, there are health risks involved, period. But there are health risks involved because the person has not had the training in school, does not know the particular sanitation process to go through to clean the implements, to clean the stations. And so it's a problem because in our schools, we have 63 schools of cosmetology. The very important is health and sanitation. So there are many hours that are given to a student in how to properly prepare the tools they use, what to do in case of a cut, how their station should be set up, disposable and non-disposable items that they use to work on the people. So if you can just imagine in any other profession, if you know nothing about it, then the risk is greater. And because you always have the possibility that with a manicure or pedicure that you're going to experience a minor cut. So at that point, you certainly want the tool to have been sterilized, the station to be sanitized, or if you're in a foot tub, that the water is pure and is not reused, and in the correct barbicide has been placed in it. So yes, I mean it's just a matter of logic that you need a person who has attended school, who has passed all the tests, and who knows what's expected.
So that's the message you send to women and or men out there who are...
My message that I send to any person in any salon or shop is that, one, when you go in, make sure that the shop or salon has a license to do business with the state. The salon has to be licensed. Each individual working there doing a process of any type has to have a license for that specific thing. Cosmetology students who take 1,500 hours may do hair, nails, and facials. They can do it all. Aesthetics license will gives you the permission to do facials, makeup, eyebrows, eyelashes. Now manicuring only gives you the right to do fingers and toes. That's it. No waxing, no eyebrows, no massage, no anything other than that. So you look to make sure that the salon or shop has a license and the person who is working on you has a license. Our law says that you are required with a professional license in the state of Louisiana to keep on your person at all times a picture identification. A client may ask for that picture identification to make sure that the person working is the person who has the license. And to look at the surroundings of the shop, look and see if it looks clean. I mean, anyone can tell when things are out of place, if there are soiled implements laying around, paper. If it is not clean, then you know, buyer beware on that point. So the client or the citizen has an obligation first to make sure that they're in an establishment with licensed personnel.
Sherry's your board attorney, right?
Yeah.
What's her last name?
Morris.
Sherry Morris. I can remember the first name. We were talking briefly about the Willie Payne situation. Where does that stand, statewide, federal-wide?
Well, it's Willie Payne School had the license has been revoked and it is no longer a school, and it's over. It does not stand anywhere. The license has been revoked.
All right, Patrick, I think that's it.
I have a question. What happens if a client goes and they have a shop and something happened to them and they want to sue? Who's responsible for that?
Well, in the case that something odd has happened, an infection, a bad cut, that becomes a civil suit at that point. The person needs to, of course, see their attorney, to see a doctor to make sure, you know, that if is there an infection, is there not. But at that point, the shop owner is more than likely supposed to have the correct insurance. The board does not deal with cuts, bruises, injuries. That has to be done as a civil action.
Anything else, buddy?
I will ask a couple if that's okay. Is cosmetology licensure required in all 50 states?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Is it fair to say that nail operators are largely concentrated in Vietnamese operators, or?
Well, we find in Louisiana that the majority would be Vietnamese.
Okay. Is the composition of the board primarily hair salon oriented? And if so, why are there no nail operators that are on the present board to give them representation?
Well, we have school owners, and then we have shop owners, or we just have regular cosmetologists. The state law up until 2012, I think, stated that to be a member of the board, you must hold a cosmetology license. And it has just not reached that point that we don't have a representative for aesthetics license, a representative for manicurist license, but the cosmetology license is the main license. It's not a secondary. So the board members are quite adequately able to realize any problems within the manicuring or nail salons. Yeah.
Okay.
Last month's agenda, since I follow them every month, maybe it was last month or the month before, you said that you were looking to hire possibly a translator.
Well, we have to have a translator for each of our hearings. I mean, we just, in order to be fair, you know, we have to have a translator because many of the Vietnamese don't speak English. So at each of the hearings involving Vietnamese personnel, we certainly have a translator.
That's good for me. Thank you.
That was easy.
What were you expecting, the execution squad?
No, this is a surprise.